Our greetings, our congratulations, and our warmest wishes for your next steps. In case you are watching this video in the company of family, friends, or companions who supported you during your academic journey, I would like to take a moment and thank them for however they supported your effort. Thank you. You are graduating at a particularly interesting time. Just as you are emerging from your studies, hard work, and years of perseverance toward your academic goals, our society is beginning to emerge from over a year of pandemic conditions and upended routines. Just as you are stepping into what may feel a bit like the unknown in life after graduation, all of us are stepping into what is probably going to be a new normal. For you, this next stage may feel doubly strange as a newly graduated and perhaps recently vaccinated individual in a society that is figuring out how to re-engage and rediscover our social lives. And you will do just fine. In fact, you may do better than fine in a transition to whatever happens next in your own life and in society more broadly, because you are graduating with a degree in environmental studies. Hear me out. Your training in environmental studies has been interdisciplinary. You have taken coursework from faculty and instructors who specialize in biology, ecology, geology, geography, sociology, history, English, public administration, and other disciplinary fields. You have learned a variety of ways in which researchers ask questions about environmental features and human interactions with those features. Your training in environmental studies has been focused. You have learned and practiced specific approaches to address those questions through the use of particular types of data, analysis, critical thinking, writing, problem solving, and community engagement. Your training in environmental studies has helped you to see how these disciplines and approaches to research, analysis, and service are connected to each other. The disciplines and approaches you have studied share an appreciation of the complexities of environmental processes. Given the exposure you've had to a rich variety of perspectives, you are well equipped for this transition. You understand the value of being able to look at one thing from different vantage points. You already know that there are different ways to ask and address a meaningful question. You probably also know that a really good question often leads to more questions. You're heading into a transition to your life after graduation. It will also be a transition into a world which, hopefully, the pandemic circumstances ease. In this double transition, take some time to reflect on all your experiences, work, and learning from the time you have spent as a student in the environmental studies program. Consider how you have learned to think critically about information. Recognize the ways you have learned to connect ideas across different fields of study and practice. Think of how you can use the skills you have worked so hard to earn as you move forward into new terrain. You will be more than fine. At past environmental studies graduation events, we gave each graduate a packet of wildflower seeds lovingly collected from local prairies and the native medicinal garden. These seed packets were not just special gifts to our grads. They're also symbolic of the potential that each of our grads has to grow and create spaces of exquisite beauty. We are not able to send you seed packets through a Zoom video, but each of you does have tremendous potential to find your place, possibly migrating to a location where the conditions are just right, and to thrive in and add to an environment of your own choosing. My wish for each of you is that you take some time to celebrate and to exhale. Then step boldly into your own transition to life after graduation. Gather your creative intellectual resources and focus them on your next steps to claim your own path. You will be amazing. On behalf of the faculty of the KU Environmental Studies program, congratulations 2021 graduates. My colleagues and I will now take turns take turns reading our graduates' names by program and by name. We will start with the Environmental Studies bachelor's degree.
Apollonia Artiga.
Raina Basso. Caden Fairman.
Mira Filzen.
Josh Gearing.
Madison Hain.
Anna Jacobson.
Maureen Casing.
Sarah Milgram.
Joseph Pierce.
Riley Schmidt.
Meredith Shahid.
Eleanor Walsh. Annabelle Wilder.
And these are the students graduating with the Environmental Studies Bachelor of General Studies degree.
Laura Corcoran.
Katie DeMonbrun.
Peyton Fellholter.
Vaughn Gessley.
Abigail Hall.
Samuel Harding.
Gage Ruff.
Nick Smith.
Madison Silva.
Sierra Wadood.
Lauren Winter.
These are the students graduating with an Environmental Studies Bachelor of Science degree.
Jasmine Albert.
Sydney Becker.
Samuel Burt.
Evan Cortez.
Emily Elder.
Riley Fisher.
Chantel Fry.
Sophia Gilbert Smith.
Sydney Holm.
Sarah Jocelyn.
Nathan Luttrell.
Ruth Lohr.
Eleanor Mathis.
Chloe Moore. Alex Merla.
Abigail Neal. Grady Pettit.
Taylor Tompkins. Tony Tompkins.
Mia Watkins.
These following students are graduating with an Environmental Studies minor.
Logan Bell.
Ian Butterfield. Jenna Curtis.
Aya Dewsbury.
Alex Peng.
Abigail Persich.
Bonham Cheryl.
Hannah Steinert.
Alicia Vallejo.
Amelia Windram.
The following are students who are graduating with the Environmental Assessment TSM degree.
Gail Bergman.
Courtney Blaufus.
Danielle Powell.
Brian Schaff.
Alex Schweinberg.
April Thompson.
Philip Troy.
Zach Barrington.
Melissa Carlson.
Lauren Stitch.
Sean Flynn.
Vanessa Harper.
Dennis Knavel.
Cassandra Morris.
The following are students who are graduating with an Environmental Assessment Graduate Certificate.
Leanne Richardson.
Katie Grote.
These students are graduating with an Environmental Justice Graduate Certificate.
Millie Shaw.
These students are graduating with an Environmental Studies Graduate Certificate.
Joshua Smith. Kip Nielsen.
We would like to give all of our students A great big round of Zoom applause. For closing comments, I would like to turn things over to my colleague and the Associate Director of Environmental Studies, Professor Paul Stock.
Congratulations, graduates. This weekend is a culmination of years of hard work, determination, loans, roommates, assignments, opportunities, tests taken, masks worn, papers written, lab notes filed, samples collected, serendipitous moments, dreams, and courage. Congratulations, you've earned it. I also want to take a moment to especially highlight the significant achievement of those of you that are the first in your family to graduate from college. We know that you have faced unique challenges and we honor you today. We also know that these kinds of personal accomplishments do not happen in a vacuum. For all of you graduates, our sincere thanks to your families, friends, partners, roommates, pets, and communities for nurturing and caring for these students. It has been our honor to teach and mentor them. Though these are undoubtedly difficult times, we can see this commencement as coinciding with some new beginnings. As the world gets a handle on the pandemic, you are entering what we sometimes call the real world at a time of great uncertainty and change. In many ways, that is perennially the case when we watch a new group of recent graduates head off full of hope, skills, challenges met, and an eagerness to make a difference. But in many other ways, the world you are starting your professional lives in is very different and open to change. Now more than ever, the current and looming effects of climate change is a known reality and part of our public conversations. So are the challenges and opportunities of confronting racism and sexism that intersect with our planetary challenges. As Kansas native and climate journalist Eric Holthaus, who grew up on a farm near here, writes, "The atmosphere is now both a weapon and a source of life. And the way we talk about our new shared reality will either empower the communities who stand to lose everything or risk further tilting the scale in favor of the people who will profit from continued business as usual. The pathways and solutions will more than ever come from people like yourselves working together. As environmental philosopher Kathleen Dean Moore makes clear, when people desperately ask her, what can one person do? She says, stop being one person. Each of you have gifts and skills to make a difference, not just with the planet, but each other and those in the communities where you work and live. With those gifts comes great responsibility to share them in your families, workplaces, programs, your writing, volunteering, civic engagement. However, and wherever you are part of a community. And those communities might be your neighborhoods, cities, schools, families, or online. But we are a part of a world that becomes very small, very fast. With those connections comes the daily chance to engage in caring ways for the planet and one another. Make sure you take the opportunity to share what you have learned and to listen to what others have learned. I know that for all your teachers and mentors, both visible here and not, we are proud of you and your many accomplishments. But we are more than that, is excited to see where you are, not just in this first job or move after college, but 5, 10, 15 years down the line. We're excited to hear how KU and this degree shaped your opportunities, both professionally and personally. And it reminds me of the state motto of Kansas, ad aspera ad astra, which means to the stars through difficulties. Difficulties we have certainly had, but maybe it's not the stars we should look to, but maybe think about what we look like from the stars. Carl Sagan, astronomer and writer, once referred to our home planet Earth as a pale blue dot. For that, it's what it looks like from out in the stars. And yet, Carl Sagan writes, the Earth is the only world known so far to harbor life. There's nowhere else, at least in the near future, to which our species could migrate. Visit, yes. Settle, not yet. Like it or not, for the moment, the Earth is where we make our stand. Sagan drew inspiration from one of the world's great science fiction writers, longtime KU professor Jim Gunn, who recently passed away. It was Jim Gunn's book, The Listeners, that inspired Sagan's work as an astronomer and writer, particularly his book, Contact. It is this kind of interdisciplinary imagination that your environmental studies degree has encouraged and taught to help you to be ready to be more than one person and be open to new relationships with people, places, stories, and species. As recent KU guest, the Indigenous professor and writer, Robin Wall Kimmerer tells us, action on behalf of life transforms. Because the relationship between self and the world is reciprocal, it is not a question of first getting enlightened or saved and then acting. As we work to heal the earth heals us. As we all work to build and maintain these healing relationships in our lives, know that you are forever a part of the environmental studies family, a family that is celebrating 50 official years as a degree, one of the oldest of its kind in the country. You are forever part of the fabric of this family, and your unfolding stories will be an important part of the next 50 years of this family. Know that we always want to hear from you, particularly when you succeed, but also if we can help in any way. Be sure to check in with the specific KU Environmental Studies LinkedIn page or contact any of us directly. We look forward to staying in touch for years to come. Today, we celebrate your accumulated perseverance and dedication to securing your degrees. But more importantly, we celebrate the possibilities each of you represents to make a difference. From all of us in the Environmental Studies program, congratulations, class of 2021.
Thank you, everyone. Go celebrate, be safe, and be in touch.